It's a Friday morning, Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. Well, you call it Plus Sports, Plus TV Africa. We call it The Weekend is Here and Rest is Near program. Okay, welcome on the show. My name is Wally Scott. Now, too many things to talk about. Too much drama in the Europa League semi-finals yesterday. Wow. Before I go to that, though, I'll try and look out to get up my Zoom call. It's coming up soon. A big Arsenal fan. He's going to talk on the show today. But before then, now, ahead of Friday's CAF Confederations Cup quarter-final draws, Enyimba FC have moved up in the updated African club ranking table. The Confederation Cup quarter-finalists are the only Nigerian club in the top 30 African club ranking, which, as expected, is dominated by clubs from North Africa. The People's Elephants are now 12th with 408 points after moving up 4 places, up from 16th. Egypt's Al Ahly are the number 1 ranked African club. A nervy finish in Aba on Wednesday night saw Enyimba of Nigeria beat Orlando Pirates South Africa 1-0 after a late goal in the final Group A match, CAF A Confederations Cup, to advance to the quarterfinals. Now, Fatayo Shaw's men started Wednesday's encounter in search of a win to confirm its place in the knockout stage, but they found it difficult to break the visitors until the 95th minute when Cyril Olisiama scored the Enyimba International Stadium in Aba, in Nigeria. Now, the victory fired the Nigeria Professional Football League giants to the top of Group A with 9 points after 6 matches. Now, that's really fantastic, really, if you ask my opinion, because Enyimba went through so much drama for their last match for the Orlando Pirates. And, of course, they tried to break the defense, and they didn't get through until the 95th minute. I have not seen a Nigerian team play for 95 minutes for so long. Okay, we'll take a short break. We'll come back. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now, before I go to my guest this morning, his name is Tunde Philips, a big Arsenal fan. I'll go to this first. Bruno Fernandes and Edison Cavani scored 2 each as Man United took a giant step towards the Europa League final with a 6-2 drubbing of AS Roma in the semi-final first leg at Old Trafford on Thursday night. Fernandes put United ahead in the 9th minute after being set up by Edison Cavani, but Roma cancelled that opener out 6 minutes later with a Lorenzo Pellegrini penalty after a handball by Paul Pogba. Former Man City forward Edin Dzeko put the Italian side ahead, but Roma were forced into making 3 injury substitutions in the opening half and struggled without fresh legs after the break. Cavani scored in the 48th minute to get United back on level terms, and the Uruguayan striker struck again before a Fernandes penalty, Pogba's header and Mason Greenwood's goal completed an impressive turnaround for the Premier League side.
No, first of all, I wasn't happy with the first half. I wasn't happy with how we defended. That was the biggest thing, because football's 2 ways. I thought we played some great stuff attacking-wise. Maybe a couple of too many touches, but still we created chances. We looked at threat, but to concede 2 goals is too... In the manner we did, wasn't good enough. But there was still 3 times 45 minutes left, so just keep on playing our quality, but run a bit quicker back and be a compact team. And the boys played some great stuff second half. All credit to them. We're a year older, more experienced. Of course, we picked a quite experienced team today to handle setbacks, and they did. He was out for 7 months, and he was without playing football for a long time before he came to us. He's had these couple of injuries, and he's worked really hard to get back fit, and he shows his quality. And he knows my feelings. He knows that I'd love to have him for another year. We have spoken about it. I understand this. This year has been very difficult, but I've promised him that Old Trafford and Manchester is a different place with our fans in the stadium. He must try to get that feeling, to be on our side. Manchester is a fantastic place to live, so I'm doing my best. So let's see. Of course, nights like this, hopefully we can get to the final, and hopefully he can see himself being here for another year.
Before I go to my guest, Roma coach Paulo Fonseca says injuries and a penalty awarded to Manchester United lead to their 6-2 rout to Old Trafford in the Europa League semi-finals. Now, goalkeeper Pablo Lopez, Jordan Vertu, and Leonardo Spinazzola had to be replaced before half-time. Roma had led 2-1 at half-time and were 3-2 down when a penalty was awarded against Chris Smalling, which Fonseca didn't think was a spot kick, and he said Ole Gunnar Solskjaer agreed. Tunde Philips, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Thank you for having to leave all the hustle and bustle and go into your stationary car to go and talk to us this morning. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I wanted to mention that the car was stationary, not moving, just for the record.
Yeah, it's actually stationary.
I know. Good morning, Tunde Philips.
Yeah, good morning.
That was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer saying that he has been able to finally sell the Manchester United mentality to the players. And they've gotten it. And that mentality is, it's never done till it's 90 minutes with Manchester United. They lost that a long time ago.
Yes. Actually, it was the match yesterday, and I was very impressed with Manchester United at the second half. After having a 1-goal deficit in the first half, which was 2-1. And them coming back in the second half, looking at Edison Cavani having a brace, and even Bruno Fernandes also having a brace. Greenwood also a goal, and also Paul Pogba. That's why I actually had he actually cost the first goal for Roma. But I think them coming back stronger and even better in the second half was actually a kudos for Manchester United and even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because from 2-1 down and having Roma with someone like Edin Dzeko up front and still being able to get them all out and getting back about 5 goals in the second half, that's wonderful for Manchester United. And I think the pace of Manchester United's forward was actually able to get them the game.
Now, Solskjaer has always consistently said that I want to bring Man U back to the culture, the way the players play. They want to do or die, ride or die on the field of play. And he said they taught him that yesterday. They actually showed him that they can go back to that. And that with a few more additions, Man U can rule the world.
Yes, I definitely think that, because looking at Edison Cavani yesterday, he actually reminded me of Cantona, the former Manchester United captain, and also the number 7 then. And I could actually see that passion in Manchester United players. And even looking at Greenwood, I could actually see him on the number 11. And that actually brought the memories of Ryan Giggs actually going all out against the defenders. So I think he's been able to get that from the Manchester United players, even though he hasn't gotten this perfect crop of players yet. And even looking at him on the league, second on the table, I think he's already getting to inject that Manchester United mentality into the players.
Okay, do you see Manchester United in the finals of the Europa League?
Well, it's going to be difficult for Roma to actually have to score 4 goals in Rome and to actually get against Manchester United, even though they actually did it in the Champions League years back against Barcelona. But doing it against Manchester United with the pace of their players, I think it's going to be very, very difficult for Roma to actually cross over to the finals.
Let me come to your turf now. Now, Arsenal coach Mikel Arteta was relieved to see his side avoid real danger as the Gunners lost 2-1 in the first leg of the UEFA Europa League semi-final against the Villareal. Manu Trigueros and Ranu Albiol scored in the first half for Villareal before Nicolas Pepe scored from the spot to give Arsenal a glimmer of hope for the second leg. Both sides saw red during the game, with Daniel Ceballos and Etienne Capoue both being dismissed in the second half. The result leaves the tie finally balanced for the second leg next week, with Arsenal having an often crucial away goal to take back to London.
Absolutely. Obviously, we are disappointed that we lost the game, obviously, because it's not the result that we wanted to take from the game. But after the story of the game, I think we have to take it because we are on the tie, we are alive, and with the circumstances that developed during the game, it put the game and the tie in real danger at some stage. I think the first goal, it was a big shot. It was the first action almost that they went over the halfway line and they scored the goal. And after that, we were touched. We didn't expect it. We were touched. We didn't quite react, and then we conceded the set-piece goal. That's obviously it's crucial in these ties. And then the team needed a break. And after the break, we reorganized, we talked about a few things, and we were a different team in the second half. Well, it changes completely. It changes completely the tie. Obviously, it makes a huge difference, and we know that we are there. We have to be better than we were today for 95 minutes, and if we do that, we don't have the chance to be in the final. It's the way we prepare the game. It's the decision that I made, and thinking that it was the best way to play, but the game was conditioned after 4 minutes. So it's difficult to assess whether it would work or not, considering the set piece as well changed it, and after we have to approach it in a different way. I haven't seen the action again. Obviously, we talked at halftime that we have to be very careful. There was already a tackle very early, and I was going to take him off, and by the time that Gavi was ready to come on, it just that action happened, and he was out. Guys, when we won 4-0 away from home against Slavia Prague, that they didn't lose a home game in 3 years, and Granit played so well, he was incredibly well playing there. But I know when that doesn't happen, it's always going to point there.
Now, Villareal claimed a narrow advantage in the Europa League semi-final against Arsenal with a 2-1 home victory in the first leg on Thursday, although they will feel frustrated at letting the London club off the hook. First half goals by Manu Chigurhs and Raul Albiol put the Spanish club in command, and it looked bleak for the visitors until Dani Ceballos was sent off just before the hour mark. Now, Arsenal were rocking and needed keeper Bernd Leno to avoid them slipping further behind, but they were thrown a lifeline when Nicolas Pepe converted a 73rd minutes penalty. A chaotic game took another twist as Villareal were also reduced to 10 men when former Tottenham Hotspur player Etienne Capoue received a second yellow card. Now, Tunde, sometimes Mikel Arteta tends to spoil my day. It's bad enough. I think Arsenal reminds me of a dull child with a good handwriting. That's what they remind me of, really. But honestly, Mikel Arteta in modern-day football tells you we got the first goal against them. We weren't expecting it. Which coach says that now? You weren't expecting
Only
a goal.
Arteta.
Only Arteta.
Only Mikel Arteta can say that, yeah. Because looking at the game yesterday, I was a bit disappointed. How will you have 3 strikers on the bench and you decide to start Smith Rowe as your top striker, and you say you want to try and use a false 9 against the team that is actually strong defensively, and you also know the crop of manager they have, Unai Emery, who is also a professional at winning the Europa Leagues, and you're able to start your first 11. I think that was very disappointing and very shambolic for Mikel Arteta, because looking at the starting lineup, I think even playing Xhaka on the left back, when you also add someone like Cedric Suarez on bench, you could have actually started him and put Xhaka alongside with Thomas Partey to actually get that midfield rolling, and also start maybe Gabriel Martinelli or even Aubameyang or maybe Eddie Nketiah against Villareal. But I think Arteta actually played his wrong card yesterday. But I must still give kudos to Bukayo Saka, because it was actually only the Arsenal's only shining light throughout the game. And I think Partey needs to learn how to start converting his long-range shots, because if he can start learning to convert down and not playing them as if he's trying to fire a catapult against the bed, I think it might actually pay Arsenal. But getting a goal back at Villareal, I think it's going to be an advantage for them going to London if Arsenal can actually try and score more goals against Villareal in the second leg.
Let's say this now. The question I ask every Arsenal fan is, after all these years, the same problems. Today Arsenal blows hot, tomorrow they blow cold. They just don't get it. And the reason why I'm always describing them as that is that, listen, how can a child be so dull and have so good a handwriting? You play so good football, but you just don't score goals. The question is, what is wrong with Arsenal?
I think over years, Arsenal have been trying to find a balance in the team. Because since the era of Arsene Wenger's Invincible, Arsenal began to find the issue of trying to get a balance in the team, whereby the midfield is either lacking. That was after Patrick Vieira left the team. And towards the later part of Arsene Wenger's career, we also had the issues defensively, whereby the defenders were not even fit, whereby he was had to use someone like Campbell and Skolashi, and even Joru and Brent Koscielny. And going forward again, towards the time, he started having no strikers, whereby he had to use Yaya Sanogo or even Betna as a centre forward, and even Marouane Chamakh before having Van Persie. So I think the balance has always been in the team. And looking at Unai Emery, during Unai Emery's time also, he also had issue with the balance, because he wasn't really having a compact midfield. He was only trying to create a defensive game and also having strikers. And I think that also affected Mikel Arteta at the early stage of his time at Arsenal, whereby he wasn't having a creative midfielder. And, Mesut Ozil was the only creative in the Arsenal had then, but he wasn't being started. It was actually being benched. And moving forward now, I think Arsenal still has that issue of having a balance within the team. Because now I think Arsenal is doing what defensively, but that midfield is not still compact, And even the strikers this season, like apart from Alexander Lacazette, I don't think Aubameyang has actually stepped up this season. So I think that's the problem that Arsenal has been having so far, trying to find the right balance within the team.
Now, I think I was saying this morning on the breakfast show, and I was saying that what the English football clubs have ahead of other clubs across the world is that they've been able to find a balance in their squad, get players that they need. Man U has done that, and they are still doing more of that. Chelsea with Lampard did that, got in Champions League players, Timo Werner, Hakim Ziyech, Ben Chilwell. He brought in players who might not do well in the English Premier League, but are doing well in the Champions League. But the only English club who is not trying to get a balance right now, as I think, is Liverpool and actually Arsenal. But Arsenal's problem has been for a while now.
Yes. If you look at Liverpool's case, Liverpool have actually overpaid their players, and injury has actually been a major problem for them this season. And Liverpool don't really have a backup for every of their players compared to the likes of Manchester City and Manchester United. While Arsenal, we all know that Arsenal's board hasn't really been pumping out money into getting players. So Arsenal just has to meet either academy players like Bukayo Saka and even Smith Rowe, or loaning players like Dani Ceballos and even Martin Odegaard. Because I remember prior to the season, Mikel Arteta wanted to get both Thomas Partey and Aure, but was only able to get Partey, who is a defensive midfielder. And he already has other defensive midfielder like even Mohamed Elneny. And I think I would have preferred even Mohamed Elneny and Thomas Partey as a partner yesterday than Partey and Ceballos, because Partey and Ceballos' partnership in the midfield hasn't been wonderful, hasn't been fantastic. So I think that's the major issue that Arsenal is really having. They're not ready to pump in money to actually get the right players to even try to balance their squad.
Okay, now I was talking to Sheyi a few minutes ago before the show started, and we're talking about the nursery rhyme. He didn't know how to read it, but I could read it. But Humpty Dumpty fell down once in that nursery rhyme and broke his head. Sheyi thought he fell down many times, but these guys are falling down too many times. Now, Barcelona suffered a shock 2-1 home defeat by Granada on Thursday, blowing the chance to climb to the top of the La Liga standings. Things started well for the Catalans, who took the lead on 23 minutes after Antoine Griezmann teed up Lionel Messi for his 26th league goal of the season. The Argentine forward was denied by Granada keeper Aaron Escandel one-on-one shortly afterwards, and it proved to be a vital stop in the context of the game as well as the title race. Darwin Machies leveled the scores on 63 minutes after Oscar Mingueza failed to cut out Luis Suarez's through ball. And in the aftermath, Barca coach Ronald Koeman was sent to the stands by referee Pablo González Fuertes. The home side were stunned 11 minutes from time when substitute Jorge Molina headed in from close range. Tunde Philips, this Humpty Dumpty has fallen down too many times, broken his head too many times. What is wrong with Barca? Is this the end of Barcelona? Is this the end of almighty Lionel Messi?
Well, I think the only positive light that Barcelona actually has this season is the fact that they're not going to go trophyless, because I was thinking that they actually go trophyless this season. But I think Barcelona still has the issue of trying to get the balance, because now they all depend on Lionel Messi. And if Lionel Messi isn't stepping up in the game, then I think that's going to be a big issue.
But the man is burning out.
Yeah, he's already burning out. Age is no longer on the side. He's already 33. Edinson is 34, so I think he's not someone like Ronaldo that actually has the time and the strength and the fitness to actually keep on going. And Lionel Messi, you won't expect only Lionel Messi to actually carry the Barcelona team, because now there's too many weights on Lionel Messi's shoulder. First of all, trying to be a captain, trying to be the highest goal scorer, trying to create more assists for Barcelona. And I think it's time for someone like Griezmann and even Dembele to actually step up and also try to ease the burden of Lionel Messi and even continue, because it's only like if Messi is not there, Barcelona is nothing. And Koeman coming to Barcelona, was expected to actually perform a miracle, but I don't think his hands can actually get on that miracle again.
Wow. A sports social media boycott against online abuse gathered strength on Thursday, with 7-time Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton joining sporting bodies in showing solidarity with England's soccer leagues. European soccer governing body UEFA said it will join this weekend's action, along with tennis, cricket, rugby and cycling at national level. Mercedes Hamilton, the only black driver in Formula One, told reporters ahead of the weekend's Portuguese Grand Prix that social media platforms needed to do more to combat racial abuse.
And clearly in the sport, it's clear that racism continues to be an issue. And I think social media platforms do need to do more in order to combat this. And so I'm fully supportive of the initiative. And if me also doing it helps put pressure on those platforms in order to help fight against it, then for sure, I'm happy to do so. I plan to be here next year, and I want to be a part of I want to help Pirelli in helping them lead towards having a better product. It's something that the drivers, all of us, I think, have wished for, more performance tires moving forwards, and so it was important for me to gauge what where the starting point is, and what the difference is.
I just hope that we are again, very competitive as the last two races. But yeah, again, every single weekend you just have to make sure that you're on top of the car to try and get the best out of it, because it's so close between us and Mercedes that you really do have to get the best out of it to make a difference, and that's what we'll try to do again this weekend.
It was half-decent hit. It's never fun. We're in that situation, but yeah, obviously could have been a lot worse, and I'm happy that there was no injuries. And I was actually Wednesday after back on track in Imola for the 2022 Pirelli test, and I felt fine.
Welcome back. Now, Tunde, this weekend, starting from 12 midnight Nigerian time, most sports across the world are going to join the English players, football players, to have a social boycott on social media. Major boycott. Now, all English players in all the English leagues, footballers, will boycott social media this weekend. Now, cricket has joined. Tennis has joined. Now, Formula One has joined, led by Lewis Hamilton, the only black man in Formula One. This is massive.
Yes, it's very massive, because actually I've been following the news for a while now. Because if you recall, most of the time, most of the black players have actually come out, especially Brian Sterling has actually complained about the fact that anytime, maybe he doesn't even perform up to station, he's always getting social media bans, like fans actually insulting him or even calling him a monkey or other things. And he's not the only player that actually had that issue. There was even a time that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang given out to delete his Twitter account, saying that he has just been getting too many lashes from fans, and even majorly racist abuse. So I think it's high time this issue of racism is being addressed in football and in sports in general, because most of these players even tend to complain. Because if you even look at Rangers versus Praga, there was even a complaint racism from players. So I think it's high time the issue of racism is being addressed generally. And I think the players deciding to boycott social media, I think is a step in the right path, so that at least all social media platforms can actually start making, putting in mechanisms that can actually stop racist abuse, or even banning accounts of people of fans that actually throw racist abuse against the players. So I think it's time that the players actually start fighting for their rights.
I still want to think that the authorities are not doing enough. Saying that they should try and look for a way to monitor social media, for me, is not enough. I think that if a club like maybe a Juventus, a club like Barcelona, if a club who are on top, what the whole world knows, we hear that fans or a fan of their club is involved in racially abusing an opponent, a player in the opponent's position, let them go on relegation, or possibly take 15 or 20 points off their. If they know the clubs will suffer this much, they will will make sure their fans don't racially abuse people. It's common sense. I don't think they're doing enough, really.
Well, one thing is for the leagues to actually put in stiff penalties, but one thing is for the fans to actually give to that, because there's what I call individualism. Because now, what I would do would be different from what you would do. They can't monitor all the fans, and some people actually come with a parody account and even still make racist insults at players. So I think it's beyond that. I think it also boils down to the fact that both social media managers have to start finding ways of preventing this racist abuse. even in football, we still experience it among players. Like if it was a player or a team racially abusing another player or another team, I think the league can actually start drawing points from them. But for the fans, because now majorly most of the fans actually cut across all social media. It was in the past that we can see that the fans actually throwing banana against the black player on the pitch. But right now, the fans are not even given the opportunity to actually play on the pitch. They're actually watching from home, because due to the pandemic. So I think right now it now boils down to the social media, various social medias, to actually try and find solution, lasting solution to the issue.
Okay, Tunde, before you go on
the pitch, I think they can actually work with the clubs.
Okay, Tunde, before you go on the show today, a friend of mine just sent me a message saying his sister wants to get married and she only wants an Arsenal fan. And she thinks she's watching you now. She thinks you are very attractive and she thinks Arsenal fans are the most patient in the world. So, are you married yet?
No, I'm not married yet, but
okay.
Arsenal fans being patient, I think we are actually patient.
Because
losing back to back, never win the EPL, it takes a lot of
Arsenal fans' patience is heavenly. It's made by God. I can assure you.
No, God actually gave us that kind of patience.
I know that.
Being an Arsenal fan.
I know. Thank you very much for joining us, Tunde Philips. Thank you very much. Thank you. That was Tunde Philips on the show, sport analyst with Lagos Traffic Radio, of course, big Arsenal fan. And he agrees that the Arsenal fans are the most patient people in the world. In fact, my brother who stays in my house can't even carry a cup anymore. He can only carry bowls and bottles because they're not used to carrying cups anymore. Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa, the weekend is here and rest is near on a Friday morning. Thank you very much. Join us same time on Monday morning, same time, same station on Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa. My name is Wale Scott. Like I always advise you at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports.